you want to tell the story, please, bro?
No. But I'll tell it anyway.
We the people who got a lot of people came to understand the motherfuckers that are ruling the land, making a stand.
Sweet, guys. Welcome to another episode of Sludge Underground. I have got Face Jackson here with me today. Boys, introduce yourselves and what it is you do.
What's up? I'm Rick. I'm the lead singer of Face Jackson, and yeah, that's what I do.
And I'm Joss, the bassist for Face Jackson, and this is Face Jackson
Oh boy,
himself.
don't mind him. He's just listening to his own music.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Just a vibe, just bringing everything in all together.
exactly.
I'm sure, like beyond vocalist, very enthusiastic tambourine player can be included in there.
Yeah.
Have you checked that, man?
the espresso video.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, that was so entertaining to watch. And you guys are, just correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are an I would say, an alt rock band from Cape Town? Or what would you guys define yourselves more as?
That's the first time I think we've been described as an alt rock band.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's right either. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool, man. We were actually we're submitting tracks for Spotify now, and you've got to give your genre, and we're just looking through all the genres, being like, what the F do we actually like? What are we, Jake? Because there's some tracks are like hip hop, some tracks are reggae, some tracks are like rock funk, some tracks are like a little bit indie. So I guess all of those in one, that's us. I guess we just make the music that we want to make. You
Yeah.
know?
Because in that interview with that brief little interview that they did on the Espresso show, you mentioned two influences that I would not expect to go hand in hand, which was Rage Against the Machine and Sublime. And I'm a fan of both of those bands, and I can see the two kind of working together, but it's not two that you would expect to hear in the same sentence.
Yeah.
It's a really cool vibe that you guys bring, and I can hear both of those influences. Is that like for the band as a whole, or those like very specifically, say for instance, your influences, Joss, or is that like something that influences the whole band?
I rate like most of the band. We've got like a pretty diverse music taste, like all the members of the band. In terms of like Rick, I think Rick and Jim, the guitarist, are a lot more into Rage than I am, but I still think they're awesome.
I mean, yeah, I agree with Joss. Like, let me put it this way: when we road trip in a car and we're actually just listening to music, like for the most part, I think we all enjoy our tastes collectively, and so then that like, I think that has a way of like influencing the music. Like Joss said, that we make the music that we like. Sometimes I feel like it's also just like we're just making music, and each of us, because we have our own relationship with music and the tastes that we like, and we kind of bring that. And like Joss loves really beautiful music, so when it comes to like composition and stuff, like there's that like touch in the music. And I'm like very much a hip hop head, so you hear that a lot in the music. Like when I listen to a track, someone might choose to put like a melody over that, but like instinctively I just want to put like bars over it, yeah, or rhyme over it, or like some, yeah.
There'll be a lot of times where like I'll come to Rick with something I've written in terms of like a bass line or something or guitar part, and then he'll often say like, I hear Kiedis on this,
Yeah,
or I hear Rage on top of this,
like
or
I hear Zach Energy or something like
yeah,
this over
yeah.
this,
So I think that way you can definitely hear the music we listen to does come through for sure.
No, absolutely. And I don't know if you guys know of a South African band called New Academics from back in the day.
Yeah, I do. I listened to them. I bought a GQ mag.
like I got like a distinct like, oh shit, like I thoroughly enjoy New Academics, and I got that vibe from your music, just like how like mix up your vocals and the style of music as well, just kind of with that like sort of like that funky and that groovy aspect into it as well. And I I fuck with the New Academics hard, and the fact that you guys immediately reminded me of that was definitely good for me. I don't know if that was something that was like also something that inspiration was drawn from, or if it was just sort of an unintentional thing from those inspirations.
Totally unintentional. I literally I knew one track of theirs that I'd heard off this. It was like a bonus track on a GQ magazine like demo CD, but it was so sick, man. After that, I was really I always wanted to watch them, but I never got the chance. Weirdly enough, Jim, our guitarist, has been playing in a Weezer tribute band with um, I think it's
The
the
drummer,
drummer,
right?
yeah, the
Yeah,
drummer
the
from the New
drummer.
Academics. So they somehow linked up.
Yeah.
Um,
Small world.
but yeah, small world, man. Especially that you mentioned that, and that's cool. I can definitely like hear the fun energy kind of in their music and in ours, but no intention there. Yeah, but they're dope. They're super dope, man.
Yeah. Personally, I don't know them, so
Considering what you enjoy and what you enjoy doing, I think that you might actually really enjoy that as well. You know, you guys obviously like seemed really inspired by like sort of the message of Rage Against the Machine as well. I mean, there was a quote that you guys from Tom, I'm probably going to get the quote wrong, but you know, it was along the lines, if you're disappointed that you never got to see Rage, you know, start your own band and let's hear what you have to say. And what is it that you guys have to say? What is kind of the message behind Face Jackson? Is there talking about like a variety of topics? Is it things that are just more focused on your individual lives at the time of writing?
I guess in terms of lyrics, like just mentioned, like when we develop the song and when the like it comes in, there's like an energy that comes with it. So naturally, for example, with We the People, when that came and as it started happening, there's just like you cannot just talk about like I don't know. It seemed very like necessary to apply that lyrical like approach to that song. The lyric I have my own ideology around anti-establishment movements and things like that, and I read up on events that occur, and yeah, I suppose that felt that's kind of what like drove the direction of the lyrics for that song particularly. But at the end of the day, when it comes to like most of our music, it really is just that like we're not like we're just best mates who like got together and decided to form a band. Like none of us really like trained in music or anything like that. So like I think even when it comes to it all, we're just like we're just learning, I think, and so as even as like a lyrical approach goes, like now I'm starting to see like I want to take more of this direction towards lyricism. It's more refined in a certain way. Whereas like like Big Mr. Reggae is like
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
prime example of us just like fucking around as friends, because we were just like, do you want to tell the story, please,
Uh, no,
bro?
but I'll tell it anyway.
Yeah,
Nah, when we made Big Mr. Reggae, we were literally just like, yeah, let's just make a reggae song. And then as we were making it, we were like, who's this about? And then kind of just like, I don't know, man, Big Mr. Reggae. Like, how about it's about him?
yeah,
And it's just like coming up with shit basically. And then we would joke about how like because we thought it was really catchy, we would be like, it's gonna appear. We're gonna hear about this on radio overseas, like je m'appelle Big Mister Reggae #1 this week or something like that. Um, so yeah, in terms of like an overall message, though, I don't think we have anything like very like we're not trying to tell people anything really specific. It's in each of our songs there might be a message, but and then we would want you to listen to that message, but there's no like I don't think there's like a specific thing we're aiming for, like we want people to rally around one idea
yeah.
or anything like that. Honestly, for me, I just want people to listen to the music, like the music of it, and yeah, that's the most important for me.
Well, obviously with me with the lyrics, like when it's structuring, like I'm actually like there's some lyrics that are just like straightforward and quite blunt and very easy to interpret, and it's but like this new direction, I guess, and just the direction that some of the songs have is more like my my lyrical approach to just like hip hop, where it's like actually crafting stories and actually having subliminal messaging, and I put things in like play on words, and I'm always hoping people catch them, but I never know how that's what they're gonna catch out of it, or like what they're gonna interpret from it. That's always up to the people listening, right?
No, absolutely. And like that's the beauty of music and lyricism as well, is that what it means to you is not what it's going to mean to me. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is really interesting to see like how what sort of message like it imparts on people and what they sort of how they interpret it. Like I find that to be super interesting as well. Just having conversations with people about that aspect of it. You can talk about it all day, really, and how you interpret what was meant and what it means to you. So yeah, but I dig that. The fact that it leaves it open to that kind of interpretation is also a big part of why it can be so enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with We the People, like obviously there's a definite message about anti-establishment and like just standing up, and all of those things. And I've joked around with Rick, like imagine some cultural revolution co-opted that song as like their anthem, their thing of rising up. And to me, like I'm not the most like uh I don't take a lot of action. Like you don't see me at protests or anything like that. So I would also call into question like, man, how strongly do I believe that in those messages? Like people are out there with our song doing something, and I'm chilling at home. But that would also be really rad if people did, if it did ever happen. I would be super happy about that. That'd be really cool.
Also reaches a point like where like if something like that happens, it doesn't like in it's no longer your song. It's no longer like it's out there. It's got a completely different meaning. It represents something completely different to what you intended to represent. And that's happened to a whole bunch of songs throughout history that have been associated with certain like big events or big movements. Once you let it out there and that's the life that it takes on, that song takes on a whole meaning of its own, which can be also really interesting to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would
yeah.
be sick, dude. I would love to watch that from the sidelines.
Yeah, so that could be absolutely very entertaining to watch. And with so many things going on in the world right now, just with so many, I mean, you said you read up, you said you follow what's happening. I'm sure you've seen what's happening in Sudan. There's obviously the big things that hit like the major networks, obviously Ukraine, Russia, Palestine, Israel, and all those. But a lot of them you don't see of what's happening in Africa itself, for instance, like with Sudan. And there's a lot to talk about and a lot to write about, as well as a lot of things that it could be given meaning to in those senses. So it's a bit of a rough time at the moment, just in the world politics and the world in general.
It's always been like that, right? For the longest time, there's always been like massive levels of corruption that have existed, and so much power that people. I mean, Joss and I talk about it all the time about like there's so many people that are just ridiculously wealthy, and people who have extraordinary like the extraordinary ability to like do some change and establishment and establish some kind of difference, but there never ends up really being that, right? There's just like historical accounts of just continuous power that just exists, right? And it's like yeah, there's a balancing act always needed, right? And that's what those movements end up doing now.
I
Well,
guess you also always have your own agency. Like
yeah,
you can always do whatever you want.
right.
People people can try and stop you, but it's yeah. For the most part, I think people actually just leave you to your own
Yeah, yeah.
devices. If you choose to do whatever, people are like, okay, man, go do your thing.
And then, like, moving on to a sort of a lighter topic at hand, because they got super grim very quickly. Tell me the story of Face Jackson, please. The gentleman that is between the two of you, minding his own business.
He was originally he was he was originally conceptualized as a crack dealing superhero. Um, absolutely ridiculous. As you can see, like his face, Rick,
He looks like a crackhead.
yeah, uh, Rick made Rick drew him as like an amalgamation of different things. There was the stand-up show where this guy said that like
In the
whiskers from
townships,
all cats from the township have like
a
fucked up
broken whisker.
whiskers and shit. So like Rick gave him some fucked up whiskers over here. Like half his hair is supposed to be my hair. I used to have an afro. Um, and half his hair is Jim's hair, so it's straight on the one side. Yeah,
And Jim's brother as well, who used to be in the like what was Face Jackson in its beginning.
yeah.
So yeah, it was really just like an amalgamate, as Josh says, an amalgamation of a bunch of things that were happening in our lives as friends together at that time.
And he's kind of just like naturally made his own story. Like whenever we do something, and if especially if it's something crazy,
Yeah.
then we're just like, yeah, no, Face Jackson would fit into that role. He just fits in those kinds of crazy roles. Like today, to to um to promote the We the People release, we went begging on the streets, like wearing the Face Jackson mask. We went begging for streams, and he just fits in that role perfectly as a beggar. Um, so that's FJ. That's FJ. Yeah, man. He's just crazy. That's him.
He's just going to be an ever present. Do you guys take him to shows? Does he end up on stage with you?
Nah, he's just been like this mask. Ideally, like we'd love to get to a point where there could be like a full Face Jackson suit or like a mascot, right? Where you get like we have
Just
a
stick him
friend.
onto a mannequin.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, if he can just chill somewhere, it just adds to the. Yeah, I think it would make the
But
stage.
there wouldn't be an appropriate mannequin, like a you wouldn't be able to get a mannequin for Face Jackson.
Yeah, like right now, he's actually like the statue we've got him on is a dog. It's just a dog statue.
That's great.
Yeah.
And like how have things been going with the release of We the People? That came out quite recently. It was 4 days ago. What's the reception been like? How have people been responding to it?
Look, I mean, we know that that song goes down really well live. Like, I think that's where we get most of our feedback for our music. When it comes to just like the streaming world and all of that, I think, personally, and I know we both are. We just like we're at this point where we're just like, fuck the music industry, man. This is some bullshit. Like, we don't want to participate in a lot of what's needed to like get the popularity of streams and all of that, you know.
It's a job in its own right.
For sure. I
Yeah.
guess what Rick's trying to say is like we don't want to be like an Instagram band where you're constantly making reels of just like stuff you don't really want to do, basically. Like stuff that just doesn't feel authentic. That's the most important thing for us. We don't want to, if we are going to do this, like we want to do it the way we want. We understand like there's admin, you got to do all of that shit, but we just don't want to make like false things that just aren't us. Would just I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100%. Like I am chronically online. Like I spend way too much time on the internet, both doing this and just in general. And like you also get guys whose marketing strategy is to piss people off with that type of content because it gets engagement. And like I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that either. Like I 100% agree with you about the authenticity, about the just the general slug of it, or it just comes across so disingenuous sometimes that I can't really like take you seriously in that regard. And I might not be the target market. Like you got to understand that you and I might not be that target demographic, but there are certain types of content where I will not listen to your music purely off the principle of it. Like within the last year, there was an artist, a South African artist, who pissed me off to the point with their content and how they marketed themselves that I do not care how good they could possibly be. I will never support them just because of it. Just purely because of how you marketed yourself.
It's exactly what you said. It's like it just does. It comes across as like disingenuous. And Rick said that to me before when we were like making a reel for hey guys, we're playing at this place this Friday, come on through. Like there's nothing inherently wrong with that. But I don't know, it just doesn't, like, it feels like we're just doing this fake thing, and it doesn't feel right. And then I don't want to be a part of that. I'd
Right.
rather just have a normal job then. Let me just go earn money doing a bullshit job. But yeah, in terms of, we'll still make content as well, as long as like we enjoy what we're doing.
Yeah,
That's
like today, because we like this guy brings us so much like ridiculous joy in just enacting his story and being his character. So we're like we're finding it so hilarious. Today we're like there begging on the side of the street. It's just ridiculous. Even the people in the cars driving past, they laugh at the sign, and because it's a ridiculous situation as well.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, yeah, right.
So it's like for us that's funny, and then like we can laugh about it, and we have a memory together as friends, and for the most part, then like when we look back on the content, like every time we do those kind of videos, Josh and myself, like we'll sit there and we'll just find it hilarious, and it's just comedy to us as well. So we just like whatever.
Yeah, I get you 100%. And like you said, it's something that you enjoy doing. It wasn't something that was like, how to say it, artificially drawn up in a boardroom like as a marketing strategy. It was just something you guys were like, fuck it, crackhead sign, let's go to the streets, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
just for the lols, dude. And
it
it's
was for
worked.
the
You
lols,
had
man. Honestly, if we didn't even post this thing, I'd be fine. It
But
was fine.
the irony is that we also kind of like, I think there was like a little part of me that was like, this is gonna be for the lols. This is gonna be ridiculous. But I also think it's gonna be like there's gonna be some kind of effect to it, right? Now we just did it obviously to film a video to kind of like promote our album with or whatever. But then as we did it, it was like, yo, this is some dope guerrilla marketing. We should actually just
Yeah, let's go to the
let's go to
waterfront
the
next,
waterfront and stand there
let's-
like then be like beg for streams, whatever.
Yeah.
And just like spend 30 minutes chatting shit to each other.
And there's a whole other like can of worms that you can open with that, like the begging for streams. Like you're not even begging for money. Like there's a whole other like funny can of worms that if you guys so choose and you feel like doing, you can go down with that.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is part of the, like, I know we were talking about like sending a message earlier. Like I don't really want to like incite like a message, like a strong message, but it is it is how I think about it. Like, yo, if we get 1 billion streams, we can probably like go buy some bread or something, and that's it. Like that's the point. What the hell? Like if music was our only thing or streaming, we would be on the streets begging. So it is like, it definitely has the social commentary to it.
If everyone at this robot streams the song, I am like 1% to buying a loaf of bread.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, exactly. For
Yeah.
sure. The struggle is real.
Just put a little QR code there, dude. Like,
I was thinking about that.
Nah,
I
really, yeah.
just in terms of like danger, that's the only thing I'd be worried about, if like people are trying to fucking QR code our thing.
next thing you know, you've just like made a syndicate's wet dream standing at a robot waiting for phones to come out. Beyond this this new music video that's dropped, what are the plans for Face Jackson in the future? What are you guys looking at doing coming up?
Write new music, man. We just want to write, for the most part, we just want to write as much music as possible. Play, obviously, we want to play live shows. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think like this album for us has been like, yeah, it's been long, man. So like, we kind of just want to put it out. Very grateful that it's out and stuff, but
And keep moving forward.
keep moving forward, yeah. And we've got a lot of ideas and songs and concepts that we can work with, and I think it seems like the best route in South Africa is to just build your catalog as a musician. There's not much of a live scene. The live music culture is very underground.
Which we still love.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we
of
still
course,
love
yeah.
performing.
Love the underground, of course. But yeah, so I mean, it just like in terms of like more potential elsewhere and like a big catalog,
Yeah.
And we actually like, I think it's like in ode of our friendships but we make music really quickly. Actually, we have like really good chemistry in that. Like we're able to like, like just the other day we got together. It's like, oh, cool, the song done.
Bang. One day kind of
thing. Get together, got some ideas. Oh, wait, song's done. And then obviously it takes like evolving the song and doing that. But so yeah, that's definitely where we're going now. It's just like trying to make new music that we've also evolved. So like we play these songs, and like playing our music live is always really great, and we always have fun. But I think it's gotten to a point where we've got like 2 hours of original music.
Yeah, probably 2 and a bit.
2 and a bit hours of original music.
No
That
more.
is actually fucking impressive. That is, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
yeah, we're up to like, I think we're probably up to like 3 and a bit now after we've just written new songs.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, if we include the new ones, then it's like, but we've also got like a lot of concepts that we've like
can still work
we
on.
can still like song done, in a day sort of thing, and work on and introduce. It's obviously about like, we have to practice them. We have to, which one's better. And then it's like, the aim of that is to essentially go in and better the recordings of the idea. Right. And then also do that live.
Yeah. But before all of that, we actually have a really sick music video coming out. We've got another single coming out 2nd October called Good Life. And then the full album should be out late October, early November should be done. And then yeah, on to the next. We'll obviously we're playing Podkaroo Festival in October. We've got Halloween gig in October. Yeah, we've got gigs coming up. So always try use those. And that's honestly, like, for me, that's the main reason I'm in the band, is I love performing too much. So I just want to do that as much as possible. But yeah, write new music, release new music as often as possible. If one of them blows up, even in a small way, you never know. It just takes one.
No, that's absolutely fantastic. And then, guys, in closing, where can people find you? Where can people find your music? Where can people find you to watch videos and sort of interact with you on social media?
Find us in person, man. Come and interact with us in person.
Yeah.
That sounds like a threat to get doxxed, to be honest.
We come to our shows. We're mainly in Cape Town. That's where we're based. So if we can play we've been to Durban, we've been to Jersey. So we do play there. But otherwise, if you do want to like chat with us online, all the usual suspects.
Good luck,
Instagram.
Good luck, because we're not.
Instagram, YouTube. Nah, I'll reply, man. Put a comment put a comment there. I'll give you a young heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, any of those places, the usual. You can watch the We the People video on YouTube. Blah blah blah. Here's a sales pitch. Enjoy it. Yeah.
100%. Boys, thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat with me today. And yeah, it's been an absolute blast. I'm so stoked to see the new music that comes out and check what you guys are going to be doing.
Sure. Thanks, man. Marcel. Pleasure to meet you, man.
Yeah, Marcel, truly. Thank you so much.
Likewise, lads. All the best.
Sorry, you got something to say?
Yeah, he's good.
He says thank you.
Yeah.
Wagwan, everyone. We want to tell you about a big man who's big in our lives. Are you ready? Met this guy, his name's Big Mr. Reggae. What a guy, but his heart was kinda heavy. He said that the people don't understand. The music's there, but no